Good morning, friends, and Happy New Year. Hey, good morning, John. How are you? Good to see you this morning. I hope the new year is treating you well. Karen, good morning. Hey, Pat, good morning to you. I hope you are enjoying your mug. Yeah, I pray you're well. Good morning, everybody. On this chilly new year, we come to find it's right now, it says it's 24 degrees out, and I'm not even sure I believe that. It is chilly. That is that winter has found us, which seems right for January, doesn't it? Good morning, Bill. Happy New Year to you too. Irene, good morning. Such a joy to see you here this morning. Good. I'm so glad you made it. Yes, we are praying for Donna. That you beat me to the punch, John. Absolutely, we'll. That's so lovely. I'm so glad you remembered. That's that I'm sure she'll see this at some point and know that you mentioned that it wasn't me that mentioned it is even more beautiful. That do keep our friend Donna, who's been journeying with us the whole time, in your prayers. She is in surgery as we speak. She went in at 11 o'clock. I shot her a message this morning, and so yeah, if you are doing your prayers today, please hold her up. Um, I know that she was carrying some, rightfully, carrying some worry with it. So let us pray for peace and healing for her. Jane, good morning to you. Hope you're Jane and John. Hope you're well, both well, and that you are having a good new year. So, good morning, everybody. All right, let's get going this morning. It is the fourth day of this January, this new year in 2022. And it is these days that we're in right now. Not only is it a new year, but we're in these last few days of the churchy calendar of Christmas tide, to which will give way to Epiphany on Thursday. So these last 3 days, I actually want to spend a little time on this meditation of the wise men this week. So we're going to get wise men this week. So if you're not into wise men, I'm sorry, but I feel like there's Epiphany is one of my favorite seasons in a way, but I think it actually usually gets short shrift in terms of what we think about when we think about it in terms of the church year. Maybe it's not even something that's a part of your tradition you ever thought about it. But Christmas gives way to the season of Epiphany, and which is begun with the journey of the wise men. Hey Vicky, good morning to you. And so I want to first to just listen to the story of the Magi, and begin and we're going to listen to it a few times this week because I want to spend a little time with this meditation because it's so rich in what it offers us in reflection for this season in particular, for right now in this time of cold, in this time of contraction, in this time of sometimes maybe even fear, in this time of worry, in all of the things that kind of close in on us as January and the dormancy of this time hits us. That knowing though there are bright things still to come. So here's the second chapter of Matthew, in which this is in which we hold this story. After Jesus was born in Bethlehem, after Christmas, after Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea, during the time of King Herod, Magi from the east came from Jerusalem and asked, Where is the one who is being born King of the Jews? We saw his star and when it rose and have come to worship him." When King Herod heard this, he was disturbed, and all Jerusalem with him. When he had called together all the people's chief priests and teachers of the law, and he asked them where the Messiah was to be born. "In Bethlehem in Judea," they replied, "for this is what the prophet has written. But you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah. For out of you will come a ruler who will shepherd my people Israel." Then Herod called the Magi secretly and found out from them the exact time the star had appeared. He sent them to Bethlehem and said, "Go and search carefully for this child. As soon as you find him, report to me, so that I too may go and worship him." After they had heard the king, they went on their way, and the star they had seen when it rose went ahead of them until it stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw the star, they were overjoyed. On coming to the house, they saw the child with his mother Mary, and they bowed down and worshipped him. Then they opened their treasures and presented him with gifts of gold and frankincense and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream not to go back to Herod, they returned to their country by another route. I love this story, and it is not only is it iconic in terms of our Christmas tide, but it is also the beginning of the Epiphany. Traditionally, that the 6th of January was actually the gift-giving day. Good morning, Deb Votrin. Good morning, Priscilla. Glad you're with us. It was the gift-giving day, and so I want us to consider this. That this gift and this image of these wise men, who many believe maybe came from Persia. There's a big belief that they came from Persia. There's also the idea that they came from Damascus. A lot of people think that but either way, they had to do one of the great journeys of the ancient world, of the ancient Near East, which was to cross over the great desert, which you didn't go across the desert. You actually went. You had to go up and down to go to travel east or to travel west. So that in their traveling, they actually never for the first thing that we know is they never went straight. They never went straight towards the star, but they were always led by it and navigated by it. And our little title today, it's also the title of one of my favorite book of quotations that was done by a dear friend of mine, Emily Jane Lamole, who put together these little quotations, many of which you've heard because of our time that we've spent together. But these little quotations, these little truths that bring us toward, that guide us, and they don't necessarily guide us straight. This is the whole thing. It's not this purity test about we've got every step on the journey headed in perfectly the right direction. But it is that the wise men being guided up the Tigris and Euphrates and back down the Jordan River Valley, and in order to cross great difficulty, was guided by this star along the way, this little point of light that would come to them day in and day out, and that they were guided to the stars by the stars. They were guided to Christ, who is known as the great morning star, the one who comes to us to cast away all darkness. They're guided to the great morning star by this lesser light, by this smaller truth, by this little story, this little quotation. There's a quote that comes out of this little book that Emily Jane put together the book called Starlight, Sic iter ad astra. Thus this is the way to the stars. She begins it with this quotation, and which is why I wanted to share it with you, and wanted to see if you can hear this in the journeys of the wise men, in the journeys of the magi. It's attributed to many different people, so I won't bother to fight through the attribution, but just hear this journey of living. Watch your thoughts; they become words. Watch your words; they become actions. Watch your actions; they become habits. Watch your habits; they become your character. Watch your character, for it becomes your destiny. Friends, this epiphany image that we're journeying towards, and that's why I want to spend the next 3 little 11:11s doing this, kind of coming, that this is 1, 2, and 3 as we get to epiphany, because I want to go on the journey with this text too. I want to feel like we're journeying the next 3 days a little bit, that we're going somewhere. But we've picked our star. We've picked our simple truth for the day, our simple thought that we'll hold before us. Not that, the world is going to hell in a handbasket. Not that it's, that not some great Eeyore meditation of like, it's so sad, it's so bad. And that doesn't mean we don't have sadness in our life. It doesn't mean we don't struggle. Quite the opposite. But it means that we can be attentive to these little points of light in our lives that will light us up. There's little quotations that we can hold on to that will bring us, that will just correct us, our course a little bit, even though we're not heading straight toward the light, even though we're not heading straight towards the morning star, because we're not equipped. We're not supposed to head straight. We are supposed to weave and work and warp our way toward the divine, toward God's love for us. We have a journey to go on, which will take us up and will take us down and will take us through mountains and through passes, but will never take us away from the water of the love of God and from the light in the heavens. Because the reality of this is, if you've ever been anywhere, particularly in the desert, but if you've ever been anywhere or tried to navigate by the sky, is that the sky isn't always luminous, is it? There are sandstorms. There is overcast. Because the reality is that these wise men walked in their days without the view of the star. The star was not always present. The star was not always there for them. The star was not always apparent in their view, but they knew by what they had seen and what they had known, and by the directions that they had been given and that they traveled, they knew that sometimes the act of faith, sometimes moving ourselves towards the morning star, sometimes moving ourselves through life is not walking toward this brilliant and beautiful image of what of beauty that is before us. Sometimes it is simply walking in the last best direction we were given. And that too is part of what it means to journey to the stars. For the ancients, the stars were not like these big balls of gas burning in the sky. That was not a star. A star was, in fact, the angelic. It was, in fact, this living collection, this power that would shine down upon us. And that when we were bathed in starlight, there were ways that we knew ourselves to be bathed in the presence of holy beings. Friends, I want to invite you that as you encounter the little truths of your day, as you maybe pick up a quotation, say a prayer, offer an intention that would bring light to life in the world. As you just do these simple, small little things, these little thoughts, that pinpricks of light that come to us. And as we follow them out, probably never straight, and as we follow them out, even probably never in constant contact with them, but as we follow them out, we too, you and I, journey to the stars themselves. Now we believe that we might only navigate by the stars, but it's my contention that in following the stars in the sky, and following those angelic little thoughts, and following the small tiny truths of our life, and following the best that we have to offer in any moment given, and that maybe even that best isn't all that good on any given day, but in walking it out and continuing our pilgrim journey, we end up at the great morning star. We end up at the birth of Christ in the world. We end up at the birth of Christ in our lives. We end up at the cradle of the Most High. We end up in glory upon glory. And I think this is, in many ways, the journey to the stars. And that's, I think, is captured in this little journey with the Magi over these days. And so my hope for you today is that you'll follow the star in your life today. Wherever it is, you'll follow the light that is shining, the divine light that's shining. Not you're going to have some grand encounter with Jesus. I hope that happens to you, but that's rarely our life. But that you'll watch that thought, that the some little flickering brilliance in your life, some little flickering beauty, some little quotation, some little point of light, and that you'll move towards it. You'll encourage it. You'll bring it out into life, into being, into wholeness. And that in that, you'll be walking the same path those Magi walked thousands of years ago. You'll be moving through your own desert. And you'll be traveling forward. Possibly never straight, but always forward. Being guided by the light of Christ. Because we imagine this grand life as one that somehow should have more lightning and more thunder and more all of that in it. But I think the Magi are actually closer to our reality of what it is to be a pilgrim coming to Jesus. Is that we are called to watch for the light, to walk out our path, and in doing so, find ourselves home. All right, friends, that's my hope for you today. And I hope, do keep our friend Donna in your prayers as she is being cared for in this hour. Good morning, Jamie. I'm glad you're here. Good to see you. Bonnie, good morning. Hope you're great. Great to see everyone. Great to be back here at in 2022. Hey, Amy, just good to see you. So it's so glad to see you. Bill, thanks for being with us. We are stars. I love it. Love it. All right. Thanks. So peace and grace, my friends, and have a great day. And we'll spend a little more time with the Wiseman tomorrow at another 11:11. Peace and grace, y'all.